We are at the Zoho Leaks 2025. I'm here with Simon Fedorovsky, Sphere Consulting. You probably saw him on our channel for many, many times. We just went out of the Zoho Payroll session. Really nice product.
Very impressive.
You as a professional, you work with QuickBooks Payroll, you work with ADP, basically almost any software out there for payroll, you already tested and tried. You told me that Zoho Payroll, it's a nice solution. I know that you have a few things in mind. What is the best one, the best thing that you can say about Zoho Payroll? Why it's an impressive product?
Can I say two?
Sure.
Okay, let's start with number
It's
one.
$5 each.
Done, no problem. The number one thing that I saw from just the seminar that we were in was how easy it is to implement. I think people forget about how much work and effort it takes for you to reach out to your Ceridian, ADP, contact, manually filling out those PDF forms, Excel,
and so on.
the amount of hours. Everything is within the system, everything is in there. It's super straightforward. They have a nice checklist. It's wonderful. I think it's exactly what Zoho is all about, but now on the payroll side to the next level. It's phenomenal.
If I think about it, Zoho already has the employees, already has the bank accounts. So most of what they need from you is already in the system.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the way that it's just connecting to Zoho Expense, we talked about this. Zoho Expense, Zoho People, and Zoho Payroll, those three together are just a powerhouse for a business owner.
Can you give an example of how Zoho Expense is working with Zoho Payroll as one unit, which integration is a big thing.
Huge.
Right? If I need to integrate two systems, it's thousands of dollars.
That's right. I think a really big plus that we've seen right now is just the reimbursable expenses. You have expense reports that are being submitted in Zoho Expense. They get approved. They're now in queue to be paid out in payroll. Automatically, and they're added to the payroll run, and everything is reconciled perfectly on the accounting end, which makes me very, very happy.
I know.
So, don't judge. But I think that's a really big step forward because traditionally we're used to doing two things in two different systems. Whereas here, click of a button, they're integrated, it's done.
I do know from clients that sometimes they just forget to reimburse employees. For the employee, it's a big thing. For the business owner, okay, so $300, sure, but for the employee, it's a big thing.
Closing that gap is a great step forward. Yeah, absolutely.
So the integration level is one. You said one more thing.
Okay, the reporting side. Just the ability to add custom fields the same way that you can do in any other suite. It's phenomenal. You can do the same Zoho Books custom reporting and custom fields for your payroll. And along that, you can also add the addition of tags, which is phenomenal.
Give me an example, something that a business owner can use with the tags.
Let's just say you have a company with 50 employees. 3 different divisions that you really want to track. How much your marketing team is worth, how much your finance team, how much your sales team. Traditional 3 teams, let's call it.
Sure.
When you do tags, you can actually assign tags or profit centers to each specific team and then be able to report it on the P&L automatically.
So you can create like a P&L based on different departments.
That's right.
Same as you would do in Zoho Books.
Yeah. I would say that 80% of the people and companies that are using outside payroll providers don't care about doing that extra level of reporting internally. When you get to that point, you really broaden the way that you can actually look at the numbers. It's like magic.
Now, in terms of pricing, I know that there are different regions, different pricing. In general, their pricing, is it high, low, okay?
I think it's extremely reasonable given the product.
So it's mid-size pricing?
Absolutely. It competes with ADP, competes with Ceridian, and just the fact that you have easy setup, easy integration, and not to mention, if you do need to bring in your historical payroll for the year, because you have to.
That's a big thing.
It's a huge plus. Instead of filling out an Excel file and mixing different columns, you're now doing it within the form online on the web.
So they have a way to bring in the opening balances so you can initiate the accounts.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, for me as a business owner, whenever I'm running a payroll, do I need to go to my bank account and pay something to my employees, or it's being done automatically?
You're setting up direct deposit.
Yep.
You could do that right out of the system, and everything is done perfectly on time.
Automatically.
That's right.
Okay.
Don't have to worry.
That's the biggest thing, is for me not to do anything manually.
That's right. Save you time,
Yeah.
save mistakes, right?
Mistakes, yeah. That's
That's
what
a big
I'm afraid
one.
of.
Because that's always what happens with these payment systems is you're forgetting, you duplicate it, you put in the period in the wrong spot, employees get frustrated. It's such a sensitive topic, right?
We'll tell you something. We did an experiment with clients that had problems with data migration. The error rate for good employees, I'm not talking about people that are not really great. Good employees will have about 5% error rate for good employees, like
Yeah.
strong people.
Yeah.
And as low as you go down, the level of, if the employee is good, it's
That-
10%, 15,
yeah.
20%.
It's a lot.
So not doing it manually, it's a big thing.
Yeah, I think this is the next push forward, is continuing down the path of one ecosystem that can do everything that the business needs to do, right? Simplifying it and relying less on ADP's data sets. We see this whole problem now as well, right?
Yep.
All the craziness because Zoho has their own data centers. That's a really big plus that connects into this problem,
Yep.
right? So huge pluses all around.
Anything else before we close the payroll session?
I'm just excited to see what they could do next with payroll, right? And I think that
What
all
do
of that,
you want to see? What's missing?
for me as a business owner, as an accountant, I think a really big part of it is just the visibility aspect. So being able to dissect it. So doing reporting for unions, for example, we have clients that are in unions.
And the tags will not give you this
Not
option?
to the degree that you would need them to. Union dues, like specific calculations on the back end, employee loans, automating those. Those are little components that could be a huge value add that no payroll provider really has at the moment.
I'm pretty sure I can automate it on the Zoho people side and
Yep.
push to payroll.
Yeah, that's
So
possible.
I solved your problem.
Done. I think that's a really big one, because if you look at how, even employers now, we have a pretty rough time in the economy overall in the whole world. We're all feeling it. Sometimes employees do have the ability to get that funding from their employer. The repayment is done through payroll. So when you look at that and you see the kind of work that has to be on the back end, all that can be automated using Zoho people and Zoho
I can
Payroll.
create a loan in the background and push to payroll every
Interest.
month.
Yeah.
Interest, no interest, whatever you want.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, done.
So I wanted Zoho Payroll to do this, but I think
Until
your team is more than capable.
My team can do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's amazing.
Simon, thank you very much for the session.
It's always a pleasure.
And, if you guys need fantastic bookkeeping company, accounting company, migration between one system to another, he's your guy. He helped us help hundreds of our customers.
Thank you very much for having me, buddy.